generator of alternating current. You are rotating the coil at high speed. It's a small assignment for you all. Exactly as we have studied. Torque changes the magnetic flux. If theta is 0, sin 0 is 0. Hello students, this is my last session on the chapter electromagnetic induction. What is that I will be covering up in this session? We will understand something called as an AC generator, or what is also called an AC dynamo. I'll understand the principle of its working, the construction of an AC generator, the working of an AC generator, theoretical description of it, and arriving from the theory, we will understand the sinusoidal variation of EMF through a AC generator. Now, before I can creep in to the discussion on AC generator, what is that we did in our previous class? We studied a very beautiful phenomenon, something called as mutual induction, where we tried to understand how EMF is induced in a secondary coil by changing the current flowing through the primary coil. We also understood the different norms and concepts that are associated with coefficient of mutual induction. So, keeping these concepts in mind, today we cling and understand something called AC generator. Now, this is the diagram depicting an AC generator of alternating current. What is alternating current? Properties of alternating current, behavior of alternating current, all these concepts we study in the next chapter. Now just I understand a device where inducing EMF I can get something called alternating current. Now, the description says an AC generator or an AC dynamo. This should be more probable where you have used in your lower classes dynamo. A AC generator or a AC dynamo is an electrical machine. It is a machine. And what is it doing? It is converting mechanical energy into electrical electrical energy. So, what is happening in an AC generator, also called as an AC dynamo? Mechanical energy gets converted into electrical energy. Therefore, friends, what is the basic use of an AC generator? To convert mechanical energy into electrical energy. So my first part of the understanding says an AC generator, or also known as AC dynamo, is an electrical machine. And what is it doing? It is converting mechanical energy into electrical energy. Now, what is the principle of working of an AC generator? The principle is, when a coil is rotated in a uniform magnetic field, when we rotate a coil in the uniform magnetic field, because of the torque created, magnetic flux is changed. You are rotating the coil at high speed in a uniform magnetic field, resulting in what? Torque. What will that torque do? It will change the magnetic flux, and hence an EMF is induced in the coil. And later you come to know this EMF has to be sinusoidal in nature. I can represent the EMF through a sine curve, sinusoidal variation. So, my dear students, the principle of working says that when a coil is rotated in a uniform magnetic field, there is a torque developed. Because of this torque, magnetic flux linked with the coil is changed. The moment magnetic flux changes, there is an EMF induced in it. Now, let us come to the construction of an AC generator. The main component of the generator is called armature. Please to observe the diagram. A, B, C, D is called the armature coil. And this is made of either a permanent magnet or electromagnet. Since I need sinusoidal variation, the armature coil, which is representing the armature coil, A, B, C, D, is the armature coil. which has several turns of insulated copper wire. The armature coil has several turns of insulated copper wire wound on a soft iron core. At the center, there is a soft iron core, and that soft iron is wound using insulated copper wire. So A, B, C, D is the armature coil. The next is what I call as the field magnets. So this is the poles of the field magnets. As I told, they are either permanent in nature or electromagnet in nature. The armature coil is placed between the pole pieces of the field magnet. In between the north and south pole of the field magnets, the armature coil is placed. Third one, slip rings. If you observe the diagram, R1 and R2 are the slip rings to which the armature coil is connected. So this is called as the slip rings. We connect the armature coil to these slip rings, and it is these rings which make the coil to rotate. Torque exert agbekalva, rotation sikbeko. So what is making the armature coil to rotate? R1 and R2, which are the slip rings. And B1 and B2 are the two brushes which are connected to an output. So what do I mean when I say connected to an output? If I want to measure the alternating current that is generated here, I connect an AC meter, alternating voltage, AC voltmeter. So any output that has to be measured is connected to the two brushes. So these are the key components of the AC generator. Which are they? Let us recall quickly. Armature coil, A, B, C, D. What does it have? Several turns of insulated copper wire, and this copper wire is wound over a soft iron core. What is N and S? Pole pieces of a field magnet, the north pole and the south pole of a field magnet, and they are either permanent magnets or electromagnets if required for sinusoidal variation. R1 and R2 are the two slip rings. These are the rings connected to the armature about which it rotates, causing the existence of torque, basically responsible for induced EMF. B1 and B2 are the brushes. They are connected to the output. Whatever output is necessary is measured across the brushes. Now, going to the working, It's a small assignment for you all, exactly as we have studied in our previous concepts. So please to look over, have an assignment, just study the working of an AC generator. Now comes the key part of the discussion, the most important part of the discussion, the theory of AC generator. My dear students, when I say theory of an AC generator, what is that I am trying to intend here? Yes, I am trying to derive an expression for induced EMF using your AC generator. This is an established question for 5 marks. One of the 5-mark questions which can necessarily appear in the paper to derive an expression for alternating EMF induced by an AC generator. Now, this is the coil I consider, because to induce an EMF, I have to rotate the coil where in a uniform magnetic field. Why? Torque has to come into picture. Therefore, let a coil of N turns and cross-sectional area A. There is a coil which has n number of turns and cross-sectional area, what I call as A, placed in a uniform magnetic field B. So the strength of the magnetic field is B. So ಏನೇನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ, ಒಂದು ಕಾಯಿಲ್ ಇದೆ, it has n number of turns. ಎಷ್ಟು ಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಕಾಯಿಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? n number of turns. And what is its area of cross section? A. Where is it placed? In a uniform magnetic field of strength B. Now, I have to rotate the coil, alva? Only then I can get an induced EMF. The coil is rotated with a uniform angular velocity omega. I am rotating the coil with a uniform angular velocity. Rotations irodrinda angular velocity. Uniform angular velocity omega, and the angle of rotation is theta in a time t. So angular velocity is omega, angle of rotation is theta, time interval is t. Now, how will I measure this theta? How will I measure the angle of rotation? All of us have studied angular velocity is angular displacement by time. ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೈ ಟೈಮ್. ಹಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಆಂಗ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಆಂಗ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೈ ಟೈಮ್ ಆರ್ theta is equal to omega t, and that is what I have defined here. The angle of rotation, the so-called angular displacement, theta is omega into t. Why? By definition, omega is theta divided by t, or theta is omega into t. B cos theta is the component of the magnetic field along the normal. So what is B cos theta representing? It is the component of the magnetic field along the normal. Now, the magnetic flux that is linked with the coil, how will I write that? Very simple. I told phi equals BA cos theta. If you remember my discussion on magnetic flux, phi equals BA cos theta. B dot A, vector B dot vector A, the dot product. Since there are n number of turns, I have written it as n A B cos theta. So phi is BA cos theta. So since there are n number of turns in the coil, phi equals n AB cos theta. Now substitute for this theta. What is theta? Omega t. So phi equals n AB omega t. Theta is omega t. Now, as the coil rotates, what happens? As I told earlier, torque is created. What is the torque doing? Yes, changing the magnetic flux. When the magnetic flux changes, what appears? Induced EMF. Very good. Rotate the coil, torque is created. Torque changes the magnetic flux, resulting in an induced EMF. How will I find the magnitude of the induced EMF? Sir, it is Faraday's second law. Good. E is minus d phi divided by dt. What is that negative sign signifying? Sir, the consequence of Lenz's law. Good. The direction of the induced EMF is always opposite to the cause producing it. Therefore, negative sign. Now, so E equals minus d. Phi we already have written as n a b cos omega t. Previously, I have written it here, n a b cos omega t divided by dt. Now the basics of differentiation. Take out all constants outside the differentiation symbol. Is n constant? Yes. number of turns per unit length is constant. A, area of cross section, constant. B, uniform magnetic field, strength of the magnetic field is constant. So I have taken out the constants. N, A, B. What remains? D by dt of cos omega t, which is minus omega sin omega t. You know the basic formula. D by dt of cos omega t. Omega is an arbitrary constant. So minus omega sin omega t. Minus into minus plus. So E is N A B omega sin omega t, or E equals E naught sin omega t, and this is the expression for EMF induced in an AC generator. Induced EMF. E equals E naught sin omega t. Classical expression. The next chapter completely revolves around such expressions. I want you all to concentrate on this term. E naught equals N A B omega. What is E naught equals in magnitude? N A B omega. Now, the moment I write a naught, subscript 0, it means maximum value of the induced EMF. E naught is the maximum value you can get as induced EMF. The EMF cannot have any more value other than E naught. Therefore, it is called peak value, amplitude value. Peak, something which is maximum, something which cannot be higher than that. So the moment we write E naught, that represents the maximum value of the induced EMF. And this induced EMF is sinusoidal in nature. Now, how do I prove that? So I'll have to mark a graph. See, to construct the graph, I use the expression E equals E naught sin omega t, where omega t is nothing but equal to theta. I have arrived at that expression E equals E naught sin omega t, where omega t is nothing but theta. First, if theta is 0, sin 0 is 0. So the EMF is 0. First I have marked the angle. Theta is 0 degrees. Sin 0 is 0. So EMF is 0. What about theta being equal to 90 degrees? So now this theta is 90. Sin 90 is 1. So E becomes equal to E naught, and this is the maximum value. When do you get? Theta is 90 degrees, sin 90 is 1, so E becomes equal to E naught. Again, theta is 180 degrees, sin 180 is 0. Again, induced EMF is 0. Theta is 270. Now see, there is a reversal of EMF. reversal in the direction of EMF. Again, 270 degrees peak value, but on the negative cycle, again 360, 0. So if you see, we have a sine curve which is coming into picture. So very clearly we say the induced EMF has to be sinusoidal in nature. Therefore, for these respective angles, for these respective angular displacements, I have marked EMF, which clearly shows that the induced EMF is sinusoidal. So my dear friends, as I told, we have understood how an AC generator and AC dynamo can induce a sinusoidal EMF. And what is the nature of that EMF? How does an alternative current behave? What are its applications? That is what I'll discuss in my next session. Until then, please be thorough with the concepts of EMI. EMI and alternating current, they are interlinked. You have to be very strong here in order to understand AC. So I hope you people come well prepared with the concepts of EMI. Until then, thank you.